Hello, welcome to Non-Dual Christianity. Happy New Year to everyone. Wanted to just do a short video as an encouragement to you all. I've had some correspondence and communications with some of you, and I want to talk to what it looks like to pursue truth, because it can be very scary to venture into the unknown. It can be very scary to consider things as potentially true, which your group and maybe your tradition would not accept as true. And what I want to talk to is, the assumption that simply because something is familiar, it is less dangerous than the unfamiliar. We do this all the time, right? We try to stay with what's comfortable and what we know. But just because something is new to us does not mean that it's inherently more dangerous. So on this path of what is true and considering non-duality, non-dual Christianity, there's not necessarily a more dangerous path that you're walking by venturing into these ideas. It's just simply unfamiliar, it's new, and I think many of us, at least for me, I'm scared that if I go against the group and try something new and I'm wrong, then I will be to blame for making a mistake in some way. But that doesn't have to be the case. And as a reminder to my own self, that doesn't have to be the case. As long as I am continually moving toward what is true, I believe the Bible very clearly talks about how God is truth and has metaphors about seeking and finding and the treasure in the field and these different ways that it speaks about moving towards something. So from my standpoint, I would say, as long as we are always willing to be open and to move toward truth, then there's really no danger in getting stuck in wrongness, so to speak. Because as truth calls you, as you see perhaps errors that you made or things you consider to be true which are actually false, you'll move out of it. From that standpoint, from this whole idea of it's safer to remain with what's familiar, you can actually see that the opposite is true in some ways. That to refrain from exploring the unfamiliar, the unknown, is a way of being closed. And when we're closed, then we've already made up our mind about what is absolutely true or what is false. And I would say that in that very closedness, that is actually a far more dangerous approach to life, because you're putting all of your chips on the fact that the way you currently are and believe is the way that everything is. Whereas even though moving into unknown territory might feel more dangerous, really it's just simply unfamiliar. But the pursuit, I would say, is a far better chance at actually finding truth and encountering that. And as an encouragement for my own example, I wondered whether I should venture into some of these non-dual ideas, because what if my kids follow me? And what if I'm wrong? And ultimately I came to the conclusion that I wanted to model to them what it looked like to pursue truth. Because at the end of the day, I love the truth. And I believe that the love of truth is ultimately a love of the divine nature, God. And one of the things that also helps me, besides this idea of what am I modeling, right? Am I modeling this willingness to move into the unknown instead of remaining in the familiar, is that from the non-dual standpoint, you already are the divine nature. I am already the divine nature. So in the end, there's no true danger, so to speak, in any case, because you already are what you would most hope to be. You have what you hope to find. So the pursuing of truth becomes more of an adventure and a game and a way to play with reality. There's no ultimate stakes here. There's nothing to lose and there's nothing to gain. So as an encouragement, I hope that in this new year you feel the freedom to explore and that you feel the freedom to try new things and the freedom to pursue what's true, because what's familiar to you does not necessarily mean that it's safer. It just means it's familiar. Thank you for exploring this with me today.